Hey guys, I'm back with a much needed update video. I know it's been a few months, actually more than a few months. It's been a lot of months. And I do have a fitness update video coming hopefully in the next week or so. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on where I've been the last few months. I've been going through a lot, as you could tell by the title of this video. I actually went through kind of a super big breakup. When I was first going through my breakup, the first thing I did was go on YouTube and search up how to get over a breakup. I literally watched these videos 24/7 in the beginning. I know how much help it was to me to see somebody else's kind of experience with the breakup and healing and everything, and seeing them come out on the other side. I wanted to be open and honest and raw with what I'm going through, and that was the whole purpose of this channel, what I said that I wanted it to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and give a little bit of kind of backstory of my breakup and the healing journey I've been on, and then I'm just gonna jump into the things you kind of want to do if you're trying to heal and the things that I did that helped me heal. Obviously, everybody has different opinions on what the best way to get over a breakup is, but this is just what worked for me and what I found to be the most healing for my breakup. I went through this breakup probably at the worst time. It literally happened 2 weeks before my birthday, which is just terrible timing, to be honest. I'm a big birthday person and I was looking forward to having plans with this person. We had plans for trips, you know, for everything. It was right in the smack dab of summer. I'm not gonna get into too much detail about what happened in my breakup out of respect for my ex and just the situation, but I'm just gonna talk about my healing process and stuff. I didn't expect the breakup. It came as a shock to me. You know, there were things obviously in the relationship that weren't working prior to the breakup, but still, you know, it was a shocker. Like, it hit me like a bag of bricks. The first 2 weeks, I want to say, were not easy by any means. The weird part is probably the first 3 days, it didn't really hit me that we had broken up. Really, I felt after it was all said and done, but I felt this sense of relief not having to worry about dealing with, you know, problems that come with the relationship, with the person that you're with and everything. And so, yeah, I was immediately washed almost with the sense of relief of finalization, of it feeling like, okay, it's done. Like, I did what I could and it's done. So I was fine the first day, and it really wasn't until probably 3 days later that it hit me, and it hit me hard. I cried a lot. For some reason, during lunchtime, you know, after the afternoon would start settling in, I was close to getting off of work, I would start feeling sad because typically I spent a lot of time with this person. You know, I spent my afternoons off with him, we would work out together, and so I really started to miss having that person that you do things with, you know. And so initially the evenings were rough, but I just fully leaned into processing my emotions, and I just felt what I needed to feel. I also reached out to my close friends. I had people there, my best friend there, to, you know, comfort me, to talk to at least provide company in, you know, this time where I was dealing with a lot of heavy emotion. So yeah, it's been about 3 months now since my breakup, and I'm doing a lot better than I was weeks ago, months ago, you know, compared to me crying literally multiple times a day, me feeling super sad, to now I'm doing a lot better. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% over it, because I know that I'm not, and I know I still have a lot of healing to do, but I am doing a lot better, and I feel now that my heart is healing slowly, and I've closed that door, and I have stepped into the point where I'm ready to let go of the person and just to work on myself and heal myself. Now, I'll say I'll have 1 or 2 bad days during the week. For the most part, it's 1, depending on like hormones and stuff too, you know. I can go days now feeling great. I wake up feeling good. I feel so good in the mornings. Pretty much the rest of the days, like, I really filled up my life with things that I love doing, and because of that, I feel like it's been a lot easier to get over this and to move forward. If you're watching this, odds are, you know, you are going through a breakup, and I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I know it's just this terrible pain that you feel, and you feel like it's never gonna go away, but trust me, it's gonna go away. You know, it's gonna get better. Time heals all. Like, literally, time heals your wounds. What I am gonna tell you though is time won't heal your wounds if you're constantly picking at them, you know, by like communicating with your ex or seeing things or whatever. Your best bet is just to cut all ties, so that way you can heal faster. And so now I'm gonna just jump into 10 things I think you should do if you're going through the breakup, and again, I'll go through like my experience with doing them. So I want you to know that I didn't do all these 10 things right away, which I think kind of prolonged my healing process a little bit. That's okay, you know, give yourself a break, don't judge yourself. In the beginning, it's okay, you know, you might fall back a couple of times, you might text your ex and do all that stuff. I know I definitely fell into that trap of doing that, but don't go chasing after somebody, you know, that didn't want you. They literally choose every day to not text you or to not reach out to you or to not have you in their life. So I mean, for me, I know that's a painful thing to accept at first, but for me, I just really started thinking about the fact that this person chose not to choose me. They chose to wake up and live their own life. This person chose to just move on, and honestly, that's all you can do. You just have to let go and move on and you'll be okay. But yeah, so let's just jump into the 10 things. All right, so step number 1, get rid of anything that reminds you of your ex. So, you know, return their belongings, donate them, throw them in the trash, you know, whatever you want to do. Just get rid of, you know, their clothes, anything that they gave you. Get rid of the messages, get rid of the threads, all of that, and get rid of the pictures. I know this one is a super tough one. I know in previous breakups, I held on to the pictures because I just thought like if I got back with him in the future, I would want to look back at them. Or even when I was older, I would probably want to see what I was like when I was young with this person. But honestly, by that point, you'll probably be married or with somebody else. And so I don't think you would really want to look back onto old pictures of you with somebody else. I mean, at that point, it really wouldn't matter, but you just don't want to keep looking at photos of them because all it's going to remind you of is the good times that you had with this person. And your brain, when it's going through a breakup, it really naturally has a bias towards showing you or making you remember only the good things, and you don't need that. Get rid of the photos. For me, this is probably one of the things that took me the longest to get rid of because I don't know, I felt afraid that if I would delete the pictures, I would forget the memories and these important moments that that we shared together. And they were a big part of my life, and so I felt that I didn't want to forget that. But at the same time, when I would miss him, I found myself, especially in the beginning, going back and looking at the pictures, and I would just feel bad because then I just felt like, wow, I don't have this person that I shared amazing moments with. I really felt the loss. And so you don't want to end up putting your ex on the pedestal because then you'll only look at the good and then you'll forget the bad, and you'll just delay your healing process even longer because you can't let them go. I deleted them off my phone, but not only that, I deleted them off of iCloud. So there's literally no way I could look at these pictures now. They're gone. It took me probably about a month to do this and be able to let them go. But once I did, I felt a lot better. If you, for any reason, you just can't bring yourself to delete them, at least get them off your phone, transfer them to an external hard drive, lock it away in a drawer, I don't know, do something, but just don't keep them somewhere that you could easily go onto your laptop or your phone and access them when you're feeling like you miss them, in your I'm gonna say like during your weaker times where you're more likely to do stuff like that. So yeah, get rid of it. Okay, and for number 2 is make a list of everything that wasn't working or that you didn't like about your ex. Maybe they just weren't good at communicating their feelings, or maybe they didn't spend enough quality time with you, or maybe they didn't plan exciting dates, or I don't know, whatever it is, that you felt you weren't receiving in the relationship, put that, and also add in things that weren't working. Let's say both of you could never communicate. You guys had different communication styles. I have mine on my notes app on my phone. So anytime I need something to pull me out of that feeling of missing him or whatever, I look at that and I remember the not so good parts too. Because again, it's really easy to remember the good and to idolize them and to feel like, wow, I lost somebody so great and this is the best relationship and I'm never gonna find somebody like that. Those feelings are normal, but at the same time, remind yourself the bad. Put that somewhere where you can see it, because you're gonna need it. Trust me, it'll help you. I know me, when I was crying and I felt like, wow, like I really lost this person, or I messed up, or I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. I looked at the list and I thought, he wasn't a perfect person either, and there were things that also he needed to work on. It wasn't just me, and that helped me a lot. Just again, not idolize him and put him on a pedestal and think that I had lost is a great thing. And so, yeah, just go ahead and write that down and keep it somewhere close and take a look at it whenever you need to. Okay, and for number 3, cry it out. You're gonna have to cry. You're gonna have to feel your feelings. I know sometimes feeling the pain and crying and all that, it's really uncomfortable. It's painful. You don't wanna do it. You would rather be happy, obviously. And so it's really hard to actually sometimes process those emotions, but you need to, because if you don't, you'll end up bottling it up and it'll appear in some other form. I know for me, anytime I spent the day totally distracting myself and I kind of just shoved my sadness, just deep down, I would just get this anxious feeling that would be bothering me in the back of my head, and I couldn't get rid of it until I literally cried it out. And so yeah, just cry it out, feel your feelings. Don't guilt yourself or shame yourself if it's in weeks or months and you still feel sad every now and again. It's normal to feel sad. You are grieving the loss of a person. And although this person is still walking around, living their normal life, for you at least, they're gone, And so it's still a loss that you're grieving. And so let yourself feel, give yourself permission to really feel, and don't focus on whether they're crying about you or whether they're sad or what they're going through. Always bring the focus back to yourself, and it doesn't really matter what they're doing again, if they're crying or not. You need to feel your feelings. In previous breakups, I know I had the habit of really focusing on, oh, well, they're probably going out or they're probably not even crying. And so I would try and force myself to not cry and to live my best life and to date, but I just wasn't at that stage yet. And don't worry if you're not, you'll get to that stage eventually, but just don't force yourself to do things that you're not ready to do, okay? So just give yourself the space and the time to cry and to just feel anger, sadness, whatever it is that you need to feel. Okay, so for number 4, I think it's 4, don't be afraid to distract yourself at first. I know I said feel your feelings, and yes, still definitely do that, but especially in the beginning, the emotions are heavy. They're there 24/7, and it's a lot to deal with. So it's okay to give yourself breaks from feeling. Focus on your job, focus on work, go to the gym, go hang out with friends, surround yourself with people that love and care about you. Try not to be alone too much at first, because you just don't want to get caught up in this deep, dark spiral that you can't get out of. And again, it's okay to cry and feel your feelings, but there's definitely a fine balance between feeling and also getting lost in the emotion. But if you look at your life like a pie, this is just one small piece of your pie that's no longer there. You have work, you have friends, you have all these things that fill up your pie. Maybe it's family, whatever it is, you have other things. And now you have to basically just fill that little piece that they left, just fill it up with different things that are gonna make you happy. And so number 5 is gonna be try new things. Go take a dance class, go take lessons, go join kickboxing to release anger. Whatever it is that you've been putting off because you were comfortable in the relationship, do it now. So for me, I know I had been wanting to get back into, tennis as a hobby. And so I went out of my way. I literally drove an hour away just to take a tennis lesson. During a time of breakup, it's a lot of discomfort. You're doing new things, it's unfamiliar, you're missing the comfort of having that person. For that reason, I just really wanted to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, meeting new people, putting myself in new situations. I know it sounds uncomfortable at first, pushing yourself to do this, and again, take this at your own time. Put yourself out there, and you never know the connections that you'll make with people going through the same thing, or just friends that you make, people that will support you along your healing journey. And obviously you can only do that if you go out and try to meet people. I don't mean dating or anything, I just mean friendships. But yeah, just put yourself out there, get to know people, follow a passion, try and chase a passion that you have. For me, a big one was starting videography and really developing my skills, doing YouTube. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you could do, but just try and fill up your life with things that make you happy. It's hard because, you put so much of your energy, your care into this person, and once you're gone, you're kind of like, what do I do now? Bring that energy and put it back into yourself. A good thing to remember is that you're only gonna get this time in your life. You have the rest of your life to be in love, but how much time do you have to just focus on yourself, to work on your goals, to go build a business, to do whatever you've been wanting to do? This is your time. Get up, do it. Build a very stable foundation. And the more you do, your pie will fill up, you know, the gap that that person left. You could fill it with other things, with friendships, with your passions and your hobbies. And you know what, at the end of the day, what's more fulfilling than doing everything you've been meaning to do and chasing your dreams? And this is your opportunity, so do it. And so number 6 is journaling. This is probably one of my best and most recommended tools for processing emotions. Journal your feelings. I know going through a breakup, for the most part, we go directly to our friends to comfort us or to talk to, you know, whatever it is. You also want to be able to process your emotions and find a way to do that on your own. And I think a good tool, again, is just being able to write it out. And also, you can write whatever you want. You can be as angry, as mean, as sad, as whatever. You know, there's nobody that's gonna judge you for feeling how you're feeling. It's all for you. So literally journal it out. I literally journaled every single day. I still try to journal every single day now, just because I feel like anytime I have a slightly off day, I just am able to process it and figure out what's going on. Also, journaling has helped me come to some of the biggest realizations and truths about the relationship, and it's helped me accept a lot of things, to see the truth about a lot of things. Journaling really helps you become more self-reflective, more self-aware. It helps you work on yourself and just really process everything that you went through. If you journal out your feelings, it's gonna become second nature for you to talk about your feelings. It'll just help you in the long run with all your relationships, your friends, with future romantic relationships. For number 7, go no contact. This one's hard, I know. Especially in the beginning, I literally had to fight myself to not text my ex. I wanted to tell him so many things. I was upset. I wanted to tell him that I missed him. Like I said, I literally had to fight myself, but you just have to find the strength within you to not text them. Again, the one thing that I told myself is, he's not texting me. You know, he's not reaching out to me. Whatever he's dealing with is fine, you know, but at the same time, he doesn't care to talk to me or to reach out to me, so why would I reach out to him? Don't talk, don't text. Again, the first month for me, I messed up. I used an excuse that I had to like talk to him about something, and I called him, and we just ended up having this really long conversation. It just wasn't good for me. In the long run, I felt worse afterwards. I just felt like that feeling of wanting to text him came back stronger. But both of you have to heal, and the pain has to go away, you know? So you need space for that. Okay, and number 8, I think this is probably one of the hardest ones to do, is let go. I know for me, going through this breakup, my biggest question was, how do I let them go? Like, how do I just let them go? It seems like this complicated process. How do I do it? Letting go doesn't require anything active. You know, you don't have to be doing something to let them go. You basically just have to accept that this person is no longer in your life. You can't hold on to hope that they're gonna come back or that things are gonna work out. You just have to really accept that they're gone, they're no longer in your life, and it's done. I say this is probably one of the hardest steps, because we want to hold on to hope that maybe it'll work out. Sometimes our minds do this as a way to cope, I think. You can't do that. You just have to accept it. I know it's hard to accept that it's done and to face it, but take it one day at a time. You have to just think about it like you just have to get through today without them, and then tomorrow it'll be tomorrow. You know, like, just don't focus on the future. Just focus on just accepting right now that they're not in your life. That's it. I'll like be living my life normally. I feel so normal, and it'll just hit me like, oh damn, we broke up. Like, he's not in my life anymore. And I kind of forget at times. So it's just weird sometimes, but I just remind myself like, yeah, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's over. And you just have to accept it. Just learn to accept it, and healing will come with time. Okay, so number 9, I think this is a little bit of a tougher one too. Don't hang out with mutual friends, and don't visit places that you guys used to go together. Don't go to like your favorite restaurants or whatever. At least in the beginning, you know, obviously if you really like this like sushi spot, I mean, you can go back, but try to stay away from places that remind you of them and people that remind you of them. If you have mutual friends, like I said, try to distance yourself from them. I'm sure they'll be understanding, especially if you're trying to move on, and just take your time away from these people. You don't have to stop being friends with them, but you do need to give yourself space to heal, or you don't want to be hanging around with them and they accidentally bring up your ex, or you find some information and it's just gonna knock you back over and you're gonna be feeling sad like you're at square one. So stay away from that. Stay away from places that remind you of them. You can't be living in your old life trying to move into a new one, if that makes sense. So you can't be doing things that the old you would do, like going to, that restaurant or going to that gym, or I don't know, just you can't be living your old life if you're trying to live a new life. It's just gonna keep you down, make you miss them, remind you of them. So if you can, go to a new gym, go to new restaurants, try out new things. It's gonna be uncomfortable at first because it's new and it's unfamiliar, but going back to places that are comforting in some sense are gonna actually comfort you. They're gonna make you feel worse and miss them. And the last thing you wanna do is text them or break no contact. And the last one is block them. This goes with going no contact, with accepting and letting go. You just need to really just accept that it's done and close that chapter. And you can't do that if you guys are constantly in communication. So you just have to bite the bullet in a sense and just get it done. I know it sounds so serious, blocking somebody and permanent, but you can't think of it that way. You have to think of it as you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it because you love yourself. You're not doing it to spite them or to make them mad or to make them go crazy or be manipulative in some way. You're doing it to help your healing process. In the beginning, I feel like it's hard not to wait by your phone, and every time a notification pops up, you're like, is it them? Did they finally realize that they want me back and they messed up? I really doubt that they're gonna text you right away. And if they do, it's not gonna be coming from a good place. Usually if they text you after, or at least pretty soon after you guys break up, it's typically because they're not strong enough to not text you or they're missing you. And sometimes if you go back to seeing them and you text them, you give them that comfort and then they're gone again. And it just literally puts you back to square one and you feel worse. So don't be anybody's safety blanket. Don't be comforting to them. That's not your job anymore. And it stopped being your job the moment they decided that they didn't want to be with you. So shut that door, and keep it shut for your own sake, because again, keeping in contact with them is not going to let you move on. And I made this mistake in the beginning of keeping the door open, of keeping the hope that maybe he would text me, or maybe he would miss me, or maybe he would realize that, we were good, or whatever. And yeah, it just made me hold on to hope longer than I should have, and I couldn't accept and let go and just be done. I kind of tried to do this thing where I would act like, oh well, he's gonna come back eventually, because they always come back, like they say. Don't listen to that saying. I feel like it's probably one of the worst toxic sayings, because even if they do come back or not, the problems that you had in your relationship, they're still there and they're not going to go away. And for it to work again, both of you as people would have to grow and do a lot of work, and that's not going to happen in a few weeks or even a few months. Real change would take months and months, even sometimes years. And again, it's not going to happen right away. It's just best to close that door and to just let yourself let go. Just let yourself accept that it's over and really deal with those emotions head first, because you don't want that to come up later, to be prolonged. Just accept that it's over, and whatever energy you were putting into them, bring that back to yourself. You'll just be so much better for it. Whatever happens, regardless, take this time to work on yourself and just be a better person for you, because you need that, and you need the care and support from yourself, and you need to be solid. So in any future relationships, whether you get back with them or whether you meet somebody new, you need to start from somewhere stable and somewhere full of love for yourself. Just remember that this person should complement, not complicate your life. They should add to your life, not stress you out, not give you anxiety. And yeah, so those were the 10 things that really helped me heal and start feeling better and happier with my life and with myself. These things took me a while to implement, so don't blame yourself if you're not able to do all 10 of these things right off the bat. And even some things, maybe they won't apply to you. For example, the blocking one if you have kids or whatever, maybe you can't do that. But yeah, but the best thing you could do is just accept and let go. And that's literally the first part of your healing journey. And you're gonna go back between kind of this denial phase, or then acceptance, and then grief and anger. And it's kind of all over the place, and it's a roller coaster of emotions where some days you're good, some days you're not, some days you go feeling amazing and then you feel bad again. But don't let that be a marker of your progress. You are healing daily, and the more time passes, the less and less you'll think of them. And I know, again, this could sound really scary at first, at least for me it was, but you'll be better for it. You will grow stronger. I like to think of going through a breakup kind of, you know, like it is to break a bone, but when it heals back stronger. And I feel like your heart, in the same way, you as a person, you know, when you go through heartbreak and things are difficult, you become a more resilient person for any future challenges, and that just makes you better. Take your time to heal and just really focus on yourself and listen to what you need. Hope that you find some of this advice useful. I wish you the best on your healing journey. I know you're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. We got this. I know I still have a lot to go in terms of my healing, and if you're just beginning, maybe it feels like you do too, but you know, a few months in, you're gonna feel a lot better. Even by just the first month, I already noticed a big difference, and I was able to kind of feel more like myself. You'll get used to being on your own. Just find things to do, find things to fill up your time, and create a new life for yourself, you know? So that's it. Thanks again, and love yourself, okay? Just don't give up, keep going, and I'll see you in the next one. I feel like one of the hardest things that nobody really talks about is how it feels